Well, welcome to the 700 Club, and thanks for joining us. It's still too close to call. The midterm elections are dragging on. The Republicans seem to have the edge in the House, and once again, the Senate could come down to a runoff in Georgia.
President Biden is boasting about the Democrats' performance, while former President Trump is being advised to postpone the major announcement he teased for next week. White House correspondent Abigail Robertson has the details.
The White House is reacting to Tuesday's results with glee and giddiness as Democratic House and Senate candidates performed far better than anticipated.
While the press and the pundits are predicting a giant red wave, it didn't happen.
The president acknowledged the House is likely to flip to Republican control and pledge cooperation while laying down some red lines.
I'm prepared to work with my Republican colleagues. And I'm not going to walk away from the historic commitments we just made to take on the climate crisis. I will veto any attempt to pass a national ban on abortion.
He also said the election will have no impact on his plans to run again.
Our intention is to run again. That's been our intention, regardless of what the outcome of this election was.
Although 44 House races are still in the balance, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is already at work securing votes to become Speaker in January.
Republicans are probably going to be in control of the House when all the votes are counted, but it's not going to be nearly the kind of margin that they hope, not nearly the kind of midterm election that they had once had visions of.
The Senate still hangs in the balance. Neither Nevada nor Arizona have been called yet.
We've got, as Stephen just mentioned, over, and we don't know the exact numbers, but over about 400,000 votes yet to be counted and reported.
With both the governor and Senate races up in the air, Arizona election officials say they will provide daily updates, although final results are likely days away.
We have anticipated that we would have 95 to 99% of all the ballots counted and reported by Friday.
While in Georgia, the neck-and-neck Senate race is headed for a December runoff.
If Nevada goes to the Republicans, Arizona to the Democrats, we're sitting there right on the precipice of a tied Senate, and that means that runoff a month from now, Herschel Walker versus Raphael Warnock, is going to be for control of the Senate.
Dozens of candidates only won by razor-thin margins, leading neither party to feel like ringing the victory bell.
To me, it feels like America telling our political system that we're done trying to hate each other. We're exhausted from hating each other on a daily basis.
Christian author Carlos Whitaker shared this perspective on the results.
People like us that are ready to be curious about people that aren't like us, we're going to win in the end. Why? Because I feel like that's who we were created to be.
As results still trickle in, politicians are already preparing for 2024. Former President Trump had teased a major announcement for next week, but after several of his candidates lost and with the Senate still in question, there is word that his close advisors are calling on him to put it off. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Once again, let's underline, we need to count votes quickly. The longer this thing drags out, the more you're going to get conspiracy theories and all that other kind of nonsense. We need to have efficient elections. So any state that's announcing today that they're not going to be able to count the mail-in ballots until Friday, you know, what part of the calendar didn't you understand? You are having an election. The mail-in should be already mailed in, and now how do you effectively and efficiently count that in order to timely announce the result of an election? Florida got its act together. Just go back 22 years, they were, you know, the hanging Chad and all of that. They report very efficiently today, and may every single state follow their model and say, yes, let's put the effort into this, because democracy is really important, and being able to announce results of elections in a timely manner is very important today. The political divides are so huge. When we come together and say the people have spoken and we all accept that, that is a game changer for us, and we really need it right now. Well, the midterm results on abortion were obviously mixed. Ephraim Graham has more on that story from the CBN Newsroom. Ephraim?
Gordon, while pro-life forces suffered defeat in several ballot measures across the nation, pro-life governors did very well in their re-election bids. Voters in Kentucky rejected a pro-life measure that would have kept abortion rights out of the state's constitution. A Montana measure that would establish any infant born alive after an abortion as a legal person is still undecided. As we've already reported, voters in California, Michigan, and Vermont all approved measures protecting abortion. Marilyn Musgrave of the Susan B. Anthony Profile America told CBN's Faith Nation that while their cause took a hit on ballot initiatives, strong pro-life governors did very well.
Let's point out governors that are very pro-life governors like DeSantis and Kemp and DeWine, that have signed into law heartbeat or pain-capable bills fared very well. So I think the pro-life movement needs to be encouraged that when we go on the offense, when we really reveal where the other side is on this issue, the American people, the voters, see the extremism of the other side.
Life News reports Republican governors who signed an abortion ban won by large margins, most by double digits. Inflation came in slightly lower than expected last month, rising at a 7.7% annual rate, below the projected level of 8%. That could be another sign inflationary pressures are easing off slightly, but prices are still rising much faster than what the Federal Reserve wants to see, although the Fed may back off on its interest rate increases. A rare November hurricane disaster hit disaster-weary Florida early this morning. Today, there are fears the storm surge and flooding will bring even more destruction to an already devastated state. Charlene Aaron reports.
Hurricane Nicole slammed onto Florida's east coast overnight, with heavy rain and winds topping 75 miles an hour. It's massive waves threatening backyards and homes in Daytona Beach and elsewhere. On Wednesday, drone footage showed the storm eroding beaches hours before Nicole hit.
It's going to be pretty catastrophic for anyone that owns a property in this stretch and really on the beach at all in Volusia County.
For many in Florida still rebuilding from Hurricane Ian, it's too much too soon.
Just exhausting. It's too close together.
Winds are the main concern with Nicole, but we also expect to see some heavy rains, the potential for flash flooding, and 3 to 5 feet of storm surge in some areas.
Authorities have ordered residents in 4 counties, Palm Beach, Flagler, Martin, and Volusia, to evacuate. In Daytona Beach shores, building officials tagged several high-rise condo buildings as unsafe.
The evacuation was supposed to have commenced at 10 o'clock this morning, but over 100 people in these 2 buildings decided not to heed that warning.
And later had to go door to door, forcing residents to get out.
These properties are at risk of structural collapse. There is a distinct possibility that one or both of these structures may collapse in some part. So yes, we will get folks to leave.
Thousands of power crews are already in position in case of widespread outages. Operation Blessing is also ready, still in the state helping residents recover from Ian. Nicole made landfall in the Bahamas early Wednesday, with waves crashing into cars in Nassau and people forced to wade through waist-high water. Now Florida is enduring its second hurricane in 6 weeks.
You have to be worried. You live here.
After slamming into the coast this morning, Nicole downgraded to a tropical storm and is headed north through Florida and into Georgia and the Carolinas, where heavy rains are expected in the days ahead. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Second hurricane in just 6 weeks. A lot to take, Gordon.
And Operation Blessing is there, both on the west and now on the east coast of Florida. If you want to help the disaster relief team and those affected by these storms, all you have to do is give to the Operation Blessing Disaster Relief Fund. It's real easy. Just pick up the phone and call us, 1-800-700-7000, or you can go to cbn.com and say, yes, I want to be a part of it. There's another way. You can text OBDR to 71777, and a giving page will come up on your smartphone, and your gift will go to the Disaster Relief Fund. Do it now, 1-800-700-7000.